Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Cage Talk. Today, my guest, we have NMAA High School Wrestling State Champ, seven-time Grapplers Quest champion, Grapplers Quest Hall of Famer. We have New Mexico Boxing Fighter of the Year 2005, 2006, and in 2010, King of the Cage Welterweight Champion, the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 Middleweight Tournament winner. We have the legend himself, Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. What's happening?
Thank you for that amazing intro, man. You got Bruce Buffer beat, dude. You might have a new job, dude.
No, I don't think so. He has that gig is all him. But again, thank you for coming on, man. It's a pleasure, and like I said, I'm a big fan. And welcome on to the Cage Talk, bud.
Hey, sounds good. Let's go.
Let's go. Again, like I said, man, I have a couple things I'm gonna throw at you right now that, when you look back, especially fighting in the UFC, it's unbelievable. It's remarkable. You are currently the longest uninterrupted tender on the active roster in the UFC. That is you. You have been involved in more Fight of the Year bouts than any other fighter in MMA. Now, you just sit back. That is a hell of an accomplishment, man. That is unbelievable. So it's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I've had that entertainment, the ET factor. When you have that ET factor, either you have it or you don't. And
Yeah.
I've always been able to go out there and just leave it all in the octagon. And now at the latter part of my career, you know, I continue to evolve and adapt to the system that is the UFC and what's going on. You know, I have 3 more fights in the left UFC, and that's it. You know, I'm gonna go on to the next stage of life. My body has the miles for sure. So, you know, but I feel good, and I recently just got some stem cells put in my knee, put in my hip. Like, you don't know until you have a torn labrum for like 5 years. And it starts to get bad.
Okay.
You don't know what it's like. The injuries that we deal with as lifelong fighters, you know, they're real. And if you don't take care of yourself when you're done with your career, you know, and you put all this hard work in to get into another space of retirement, your body's gonna be beat up, and you ain't gonna have the vehicle to do what you want to do.
Exactly, man. And like I was telling you, like you were saying, like I was saying before, you have been the longest uninterrupted on the active roster in the UFC, and that's really hard because, again, like you said, this sport is brutal to your body. It's hard for fighters to even have 3 fights a year, let alone a whole career, and stay in the UFC. And you, my friend, have completed that. You have done everything. You have never been booted off. I mean, I've talked to fighters that have been booted off UFC, gone to King of the Cage, come back to UFC. Even GSP left UFC. The UFC booted him out. He came back eventually. But you have stayed here through thick and thin, when the company was bad, when the company got better. And now, I mean, this sport owes you so much because you left you by yourself, left your blood, sweat, and tears, man, in the octagon.
Well, I really appreciate you recognizing, you know, what I've given to this sport.
No problem.
And that is my legacy. You know, the legacy that I'm living is going to be this guy that got in the UFC young, did the whole UFC career, took the hits, really took the fucking hits.
Definitely.
Got back up, lived his life, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, but finished the mission, completed the mission, finished the job. And, you know, all my career, I always thought the job was getting the UFC belt, but that's not the job. The job is finishing the mission, finishing the journey with my health intact, proving to these young kids, hey, look, that guy, he learned some stuff around the way. He's seen some stuff around the way. Yeah, that guy knows some stuff that's not CTE. And this is what I want to share with the next generation of fighters. I want to help the next generation of warrior combative athletes ascend to something where they are taken care of, appreciated, all these things. As the sport grows and evolves itself,
Yes, sir.
the industry as management and fighters, we have to evolve too. And
Definitely.
we see this happening. Everybody sees it happening.
Mhm.
Different little points of leverage here or there. I think Conor McGregor's a big guy to help change the sport.
Definitely.
And so, speaking of Conor McGregor, that guy has absolutely already changed the sport. And what he can do in the future, you know, is limitless.
All right. And again, you've paved that way for many fighters nowadays, especially someone who, growing up who didn't have much or this and that. I mean, you paved that way. You saw that mentality that your mentality, your focus, your determination can get you further than anything. And it's, again, like you said, it's not about winning the UFC belt, because I think I list everything that you accomplished, and that's even better than winning a belt, and especially your legacy of, hey, this is Diego Sanchez, who laid it all on the line every fight that he had. There's never been a boring Diego Sanchez fight. I mean, shit, you had almost fight of the you had more fight of the year bouts than anyone. Like, that tells you something, You laid it out on the line, and you can tell, especially all your fights. I mean, let's talk about it, man. Mark Campman, Gilbert Melendez, Carl Parisian, Pablo Tiago, Jake Ellenberger, Joe Stevenson. All these fights, if no one's ever seen them, never seen someone, a scrappy fighter, then they need to watch it, because those fights are epic. That is what you call an epic fight. Those fights, man.
Well, I think just in general, I feel like for the most part of my career, I've been fighting bigger guys, man. I feel like, even at 55, but 70 is where the the home of my career has been. And I've just always been fighting bigger guys, like I walk around 182, and that's a little chubby, so um I'm not a big man, and so for me to go in there and complete this legendary epic career against bigger men, like this is some straight biblical David versus Goliath shit.
Yep.
It's real.
Definitely. And on top of that, man, you are one of the two fighters to ever compete in four, not one, but four different weight classes in the UFC, compared to when you were in middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, and featherweight. The other person was Kenny Florian. But
Yeah.
man, look at that, man. That again, what got you into mixed martial arts? What got you into fighting? What was there a fighter that got you kind of intrigued, or you just
Hell
like the
yeah.
sport?
Hell
He said,
yeah,
"Hell
man.
yeah!"
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Who do you
There we go.
think, bro?
Oh shit!
Come
Which movie?
on.
Which movie,
Who
bro?
did get us? My generation of fighters were all inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Dude, the guy was the coolest ass kicking machine ever. When UFC came out
Mm-hmm.
and I seen it for the first time, I was a little young. I was maybe 9 years old,
Okay.
starting wrestling,
All right.
and yeah, and so I saw Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock, and let's see who else, Tito Ortiz.
Um,
These were the guys that inspired me.
okay.
These guys, I'd watch them. I'd be like, man, I think I could do this. Like that ass kicking I took in the trailer park when I was 8 years old. No, seriously, that ass kicking I took in the trailer park when I was
Uh-huh.
8 years old by three older kids was worse than what any of these one men could do to me. So I I ultimately started fighting in the streets, bro.
Okay.
And that was my start. I always loved MMA and loved wrestling, but Albuquerque, if you don't know about Albuquerque,
Albuquerque.
like
Yeah.
it definitely has toned down since the '90s. You
Oh,
know what I
really?
mean? But the '90s, yeah, it just changed. It just
Hmm.
evolved. Like it's still a fight place, but back in the '90s, shit, anybody you want, you draw a line in the dirt
Hmm.
and you cross that line, come on,
That's
let's
it.
go, Papa. Like no knives, no guns. What's up? Like, everybody had that chip on their shoulder out here, the machismo,
Oh,
to
definitely.
like thinking they could kick everyone's ass. Like I don't know, everybody thought they could kick everyone's ass, but that made me as a fighter, just fighting multiple opponents at a time in the
Okay.
street, levels of danger, and just coming from a family that had a lot of good fighters. It kind of was. My grandfather was like this badass legend of New Mexico,
Sweet.
and so it's in the blood.
Okay. It just runs in deep in the blood, right, brother? Nice. Now when you started off your career, like you said, what was your first amateur bout?
My first amateur bout was, let's see, down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, in a
Okay.
gym on a wrestling mat. My
Oh, there
first
we go.
amateur. I only had one. I only had one amateur fight, but
Okay.
went out there and demolished the guy, armbarred him in like 30 seconds, and hit him once, took him down, armbarred him, and I was like, Greg Jackson was like, I think he's ready for pro.
Yeah.
Let's just throw him in there. Well, because I was competing with Keith Jardine and Thomas Schulte at the time here in
Okay.
New Mexico, and these guys were already established, the King of the Cage
Hmm.
fighters that were doing well, and so I was very competitive with them in the training room. So
Yes, sir.
it was a given. Like throw that guy in there, he's ready already.
Got you.
The experience that I brought to the table with my wrestling alone,
Hmm.
the wrestling, being a state champion wrestler and being in great condition and just having heart from back to that first ass kicking where three dudes whooped my ass. You
Hmm.
know, I have that heart inside of me, and I know that the trauma and the dangers of the sport are real because I've taken it. I've absorbed it,
Hmm.
and I've found ways to recover, heal, regenerate. And so, there's a lot of things that I've learned on my journey, and I've enjoyed this journey, and I continue to enjoy this journey. I feel extremely blessed, and nothing but gratitude for the UFC and for the MMA community that appreciates me and has a good understanding for me, because most people that understand my career and that have truly followed it,
Hmm.
they know that like I've been through it all. It was all a lot of it was on screen. You know, so people do have a connection and a relation to me just to the FaceTime that I've had over the course of these 17, 18 years.
Definitely, man. And again, you have touched uh, many fans. You can tell just your passion. That's it's almost intoxicating. It's good. That's what you kind of want to have, especially in a fighter. You want to have that person with that heart, because that's one thing. You can lift weights, you can have the strongest punch, but if you don't have heart, man, you won't get anywhere in this sport. And I think you are the top of the food chain when it comes to heart as in a fighter. A fighter's heart. If you had an ability to get like the attribute, like to grab, like you're making a video game, you get, oh, I want, Chuck Liddell's punching power. The shit I would want from Diego Sanchez is his heart, because, man, bro, you will not stop, man. You will not stop. Exactly, man. Exactly.
But it's the heart is one thing, and you mention it in fighting. You can't teach it, and you you need it.
Yes, sir.
But let's look outside of fighting, because fighting is only a small population of community that participates with humanity. And as humanity, we all need to be fighters. We all need to have heart, or else this world and life is going to crush you.
Yep.
And so this, through the extremes of the extremes, I have been able to persevere. And
Absolutely.
this is what I leave. This is what I leave with the UFC when I'm done and I'm gone. I leave this, hey, no matter who you are, maybe you're just some kid from the trailer park of New Mexico, scrapping with one glove on because you can't afford two. Maybe you're that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've been beat down for 15, 20 years and you feel like you want to kill yourself because these feelings and these emotions are real. Maybe you're that guy. I say to that guy, don't quit. Don't give up. Look within yourself for your own self truths. Learn who you are through the adversaries of life. And as I speak to you guys today, like, this is what I'm all about now. Fighting is one thing. I'm almost to the end of fighting. What is after fighting? Well, after putting a lot of destruction on the sport with beating people up, I want to help these guys. I want to help everyone, though. I want to help
Yep.
everybody that I can with the wisdom, the universal wisdom that I've attained over this course of time. And so this is what I'm doing with School of Self-Awareness.
Awesome.
There's a ton of people out there that message me like, oh, get rid of your coach, get rid of that guru guy. He's a terrible guy, robbing you of all your money, ruining the end of your career. But these people have no insight to the truth of the reality of what has even really happened with my relationship with Joshua Fabio. And the blessings of time and energy he's given me way outside of just MMA
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, knowledge, and information. I've gone into the spiritual realm, my friend, and I've attained wisdom that can only be attained through experience. And that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. You have to go through it to get to it with wisdom. And I've gone through it to get to it. I'm in a very good place. I'm going to finish these last 3 fights strong.
Definitely.
And the goal at the end of the day is still to close the career, to capture the timing, capture the window that is me and Conor McGregor for a retirement fight. Both dudes finishing, just legends, man. Man, one legend did this, man. One legend did that. You know what? Let's close the book. And so, yes, I have to go out there in these next 2, 3 performances, and I have to kill it, man. I have to go out there. I have to have great performances.
Definitely.
And right now, I am resting, healing up from the vigorous stem cell procedure that I had, because it was not just your regular stem cell procedure. I had probably 3 times the amount of stem cells that a normal human being would get put into
Okay.
me, intravenously, and spot injections into these terrible injuries that have been plaguing me for the last 10 years. If you go all the way back to The Ultimate Fighter and you
Mm-hmm.
watch The Ultimate Fighter, you will see me going as a 21-year-old kid to the hospital, and they tell me that I have a torn labrum in my hip. I did the whole career with a torn labrum,
Wow.
and I barely just now, it got really bad through pandemic. Like, it was a challenging camp for me, man. I had to work through a lot of pain. I couldn't do road work. I couldn't just go run. And like, a lot of people talk shit about how they body shamed me after my fight with the last fight with Jake Matthews,
Yep.
when I obviously was in shape. I didn't sit down in between the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I did I not put pressure on this guy the whole fight? Did
You
I not
did.
come forward? Did I not look, to fight? If anyone was fighting hesitant, it was him. I feel that, he felt the danger that I possessed, and he was looking to outpoint me, and he opened up some old scar tissue, but I was fine. I was happy to sacrifice that blood for the entertainment of my fans.
There we go.
I gave them some of that Sanchez Sangre.
There we go.
That Sanchez Sangre. I got to give ESPN a little. Just like I gave the UFC pints and pints and pints of that shit. And I'm still here. And I ain't going nowhere. I talked to Dana White after my fight, face to face. Face to face. I have that conversation. There's not one word of retirement. It is only, Diego, the company has nothing but love and respect for you. And I apologize. I am sorry for putting out those DMs and just, you know, about the interaction between him and Connor coming out. He was apologized. So as far as retirement talk, if we're going to have that talk, the talk that Dana White always talks about in the post-press conference, we would have had that talk then there in Abu Dhabi. And so, you know, I'm looking to heal up, come back strong. I'm gonna start lifting weights again because I stopped lifting weights for a long time to find the postural correction that I needed to get my body and my spine erect like a human being, not lurching over like a freaking animal. Like, I've gone through massive transformations, and the transformation still continues. The transformation of my mind, my body, and my spirit for only the universal principles of truth. And so that is what it is. And I'm still here. For all my people out there that respect and honor, you know, what I've done in the cage, I love you. Like, I love you people. I'm always here for my fans. I'm always here for my fans. I follow so many people on IG. So like, hit me up, you know, and if you're not a bot, because you got like half of the people on Instagram are bots. Like, what's up, bots? How you doing?
And then bam,
I get positive bots and negative bots. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's 2020 for you, bro.
Somebody with a big paycheck. Somebody with a big paycheck is at the end of that keyboard, my friend.
Right.
And nothing in life is free. And so as far as people on the internet go, you know, you ain't hurting my feelings telling me that I got CTE. I know where I am at mentally.
Definitely, man. And look, let's just since you kind of brought it up about Abu Dhabi, how was that experience? Since, you know, a lot of people haven't experienced that. How was the whole basically how was Fight Island? Was it pretty?
It was a great experience.
Okay.
The flight was awesome. The flight was like the best part.
Oh, really?
just flying first class, like nice. It was like on another level, like some chic first class. Like, that's how the chic flies.
Shit.
You know, you get in your seat. They have little nice pajamas that you get to keep. I mean, like, some nice pajamas. These are probably my nicest pajamas that I got right now. I got them on the flight, man. I got one pair on the way there, one pair on the way back. And,
nice.
So the flight was the best part. I got to see the ocean and the sea, not the ocean, but I got to see the sea, and I had a great experience. But for the most part, Abu Dhabi is just on lockdown. So just locked on. They're just locked. It's very, very, very locked down.
Were you limited on where you could go and stuff?
Oh yeah. It was, the only thing you could do was take a golf cart to the beach or rent a bike. But listen to this. You rent the bike, you're not allowed to ride it down on the boardwalk. It's the dumbest shit ever. But no, it was a great experience. The W Hotel was cool. I would say to Dana, on the next go round, put the fighters by the ocean, just so, you know, maybe they have a reason for that. Maybe they don't want the fighters to get sick or dehydrated too much sun, because it was hot.
It was hot as hell, huh?
That sun was brutal. It was like 115, so you could easily get some heat stroke while trying to cut weight. So definitely. Maybe they know best, but still would have liked to be closer to the beach, just to go down there and do meditations in the evening and just feel the water, and, you know, it would have been nice. But definitely. It is what it is. The W Hotel was nice. Abu Dhabi was great. Didn't get to see much of the Muslim culture.
Okay.
Or better word would be the Arab culture. I didn't get to see much of the Arab culture. There wasn't too many Arabs around,
Okay.
and so it is what it was. And I enjoyed the experience, and I can't wait to go back.
Definitely, man, and definitely you will be back. We know that for sure. That the nightmare will be back. Before I let you go, man, I just wanted to know what is one fight that you will always look back on your career and say, man, yeah, I was in that fight, enjoyed it, and that you remember maybe play by play what happened or just your experience in that fight. Do you have any fight that kind of rings a bell, like the first thing, like, okay, it was the Clay
Yeah,
Guida fight, or it was this, or any?
yeah. No, I have a bunch, man. I have a bunch of favorites. I have a bunch of moments, but I think the moment you're looking for is when I fought Martin Kampman. Um, I did all training for wrestling. Plan was to wrestle him, and I even told him. I told him I was going to take him down, and that was my plan. And so,
Mhm.
but I gave him my plan. I took away the art of surprise, and he was busting my face open with knees, my friend. No pad on the knee. He was busting me up like Freddy Krueger. I had so much blood on my face, and I went into that second round, and my coaches are telling me, "You're losing this one, man. You got, and you're down, man. You." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Um, they're like, "You got to bring out all of the varios. You got to bring out all the varios in you. You got to bring out the baraleño. You got to bring the las podillas. You got to bring out all the varios in you. All the gangster you got inside your heart. All the gangster you got in your soul. You got to bring it out because this vato is a a kickboxer. This vato is a kickboxing legend. He ain't never been in the street fight. You got to take him to the street, Tommy." And and I just stood up off the bench. I mean, off the stool. I stood up off the stool and I looked him in the eyes and I said, "I got this."
That's it.
And I went off the stool, man, and I gave it everything I had, man. And I painted the canvas red with my blood and pressed forward and was able to injure my opponent, was able to win over the judges, and was awarded a $300,000 bonus from Lorenzo Fertitta. Like
Nice.
this was a real moment. That moment I went in the back and I just knew I had sacrificed my pretty boy good looks for something that meant more to me than that. And that was the thrill of war. Not battle, that was war out there. And you know what? He might have won that first battle in round one. But I came out there in the second round, got it back, third round, kept it pressing, took home the victory. So that was a great moment for me. Of course, winning the Ultimate Fighter was a great moment. Pounding my chest with Gilbert Melendez was a great
Oh,
moment.
great. I mean,
But
you
my
have.
favorite moment of all,
Let's hear it,
my
bro.
favorite moment of all, listen to this one. Mexico City. I'm in the Mexico City. Man, I'm close to those pyramids. I'm feeling the energy from I'm just, there's, I think 18 million out there, 18 million people out there,
Hmm.
something crazy like that. But just the energy of the people and me having a Sanchez last name. Oh man. And I was fighting a Polish fighter, Marcin Held. And oh, they had my back. It was like some tribal, spiritual, like fighting for my people type of weird thing going on. And I
Hmm.
was walking out and they were yelling and they were chanting the Diego chant. Diego, Diego, Diego,
That must have been what a
Diego.
feeling that must have
And
been.
I just put my hands out. I touched every person. I just took the energy in. And dude, I went out of there in that fight, bro. And dude, I did it. I left him laying there on the
Yeah,
canvas.
I remember that.
And no, listen. I left him laying there on the canvas and he couldn't get up. When the fight was over, he laid on the ground. And I pointed at him. I pointed at him like this.
Uh
I
huh.
pointed down at him and I went like this. I don't know if the camera caught it, but it was a moment, man, that I'll never forget because yeah, that was a finish. He got finished. And
Yeah.
and It was some primal shit, man. You go try to fight in Mexico City, 8,000 feet,
Yeah.
8,000 feet altitude, highest saturation of chemical waste in the air. The air is terrible out there,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's the toughest environment to fight in the whole world. And I went out there, I did it. So those are some of the moments. The moments continue; they continue to come. I think that this next fight's going to be a great moment.
Okay.
You know, I really, really want to go out there and get the W in just amazing fashion. Just get my hand raised and do it with Joshua Fabio on my side.
Definitely, man. And again, everyone will be watching. I'll be watching, rooting for you, man. Like always pulling for you, man. Always pulling for you that you have a good victory, but also come out injury free, man. That's the most important part. Is to come out not too much nicked up, man. But again, it's always a pleasure watching you, man. Like I said, nothing but respect when you get in the cage. Nothing inside and outside, man. You're a great human being. You can tell you're passionate, and I love all. That's what draws me to you, watching you as a spectator. Great, one of the greatest fighters I've watched since UFC, man. So thank you for everything, man. I do appreciate you, brother.
Everybody, shout out to School of Self-Awareness Worldwide. Check it out. That's my shit right there. And we got the Nightmare Rum coming out.
Nice.
So we got a lot of things in the works. Hey, the journey is the journey, and I just continue to embrace it with love and light guiding me. And to all my people out there, I'm here for you. You know, my job is to guide, heal, bless, and protect. And so I'm living for my true universal purposes these days, and big things are coming.
Hey, man, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Diego the Nightmare Sanchez.